Okay. Thank you so much for joining today. We will be continuing our journey into understanding business analysis going further. So, I was just checking that today, do we have anyone new? And I suppose the new candidate has not joined today. That's fine. So, like last week, Gaurav and myself, we had explained about how the BA process works. And let us continue the understanding further. So, analysis and reporting. Okay. BA stands for business analyst, that we all know as of now. And there are certain tools that we can use for the work of analysis and reporting. Okay. So let us start with the easy one. So I'll request three people to read out the text on the screen and then we will explain. I'm pretty sure most of you, I'm not saying all, most of you must be aware of Microsoft PowerPoint, as this itself, the presentation that we have on the screen is of Microsoft PowerPoint. Okay, it's called as PPT for start. Sorry, for short. I don't know, nobody sits and calls it PowerPoint, so it's mostly MS PPT, and it's a very widely and commonly used analysis tool in all the industries, not only in IT but every industry. I'm pretty sure many of your kids, niece and nephews might be using it in school presentations also nowadays, as schools and kids have become quite tech savvy. So I hope you might have some understanding, but let us take it from the business analysis point. Yeah. So go ahead. Please read out the text mentioned on the screen.
Analysis and reporting. The following applications of Microsoft Office suite come under the best business analysis tools list.
Mm-hmm.
MS PowerPoint. This
Mm-hmm. Go ahead.
software is used to prepare and deliver formal presentations.
Yeah. Let me
Business.
stop you there. Yeah. Thank you. Thank you. Let me just stop you there and explain. So this is what we are doing, right? This software or this, I would call it a tool, though it's a software, but it helps you to present your data information. Like now, if you can see, this is a PowerPoint presentation, right? I can have graphs, like, I can have images like this, for example. Yeah, I can have text, I can have everything. So this is one of the widely used, super widely used PPT or analysis and reporting tool. So you can basically share what you understand, what is your analysis, what is your data representation in any reports, if you want to share with customers, with internal stakeholders, with anybody for that matter. All that can be done with the help of PPT. Okay. So first and foremost is it is used to prepare and deliver formal presentations. So in offices, in schools, and in anywhere, like when the salespeople pitch in ideas for the customer, if you might have seen on the TV, like in one of the movies, like somebody's presenting something, then it has to be, it's bound to be MSPPT, that is PowerPoint presentation that we are looking at. Okay. Is there anyone who has not seen PPT prior to this? Like today is their first time they're looking at a PPT. Anyone? Yeah. Just out of curiosity. Yes. Anybody who is there who is not aware of PPT? Yeah, you can unmute and say yes, no, whatever your answer may be. Yeah.
Think we are
No,
aware of that,
everything. I
Priyanka.
assume if you're not unmuting, that means you know PPT, right?
Yes, we
Okay.
know PPT.
Yeah.
Yeah, I know. Because
We
nowadays,
can look
even if
upon.
we haven't in our earlier life experiences, schools have kind of made it in a way mandatory for having presentations and stuff. So yes. So yeah, going to the next 2 points, please. Anybody else wants to volunteer? And guys, let me tell you, this is an interactive session. Okay, It is not a recording based, or it is not a session or a monologue where a trainer only speaks and you guys listen. No, here we talk, we discuss, we query, and I mean, you query, and we try to answer them to the best possible knowledge that we have. And it is that way, it's a two-way process. So feel free to unmute yourself or ask any doubts and yeah. Go ahead with the next 2 points. Anybody, any two people who wants to start reading?
A business analyst often faces the situation where he needs to communicate ideas, justify or deliver project updates to stakeholders.
Absolutely right. So a BA often faces a situation that means it is basically the role of a BA. It's one of their important responsibilities that they have to communicate their ideas, their thoughts, their work, their presentation. Their like whatever documentation or whatever understanding they have. Okay, to different stakeholders. So now a question here to all of you is, does anyone know what a stakeholder is, or what do they understand when they hear the word stakeholder?
It's like a customer or a client who is interested in your project.
Okay,
Stakeholder can
taken.
be the client and the consumer who uses, and also the one who funds for the project also comes as a stakeholder. And
Very well said. Go ahead.
those who are on the like
Go,
out
go,
of the organization, but
go on. Yes, yes. You're actually very close to what the word that I want to hear. Yeah, go ahead.
to the top management who make the decisions, also like the top
Mm-hmm.
management who are out, like out of the project thing. So
Mm-hmm.
they also come under.
End users,
Basically,
the
the
end of
investor
the
who has
ending of
invested in
the
your.
Go
Okay.
ahead, go ahead.
A person who own a share in a business.
Very well. Next.
end
Right. I
users.
mean, I want to hear as many answers as possible, then we can actually collaborate that, and I'll tell you who the stakeholders are or who the stakeholder is.
Each and every person whose stakes are involved in a business.
Who has
Now, who
invested
said
in your
that?
project.
Yeah, Aditi banged on. So everybody is first of all right. But then the sentence or the line that I was looking for, that is this. Because see, we can sit here and name each and every party that we feel is involved, right? Okay. Like starting with obviously first our client, our customer, then our internal top management, your team, your top your I would say delivery manager, then from outside team, the people you are hiring from any third party agency or company, that because ultimately if your project succeeds, their employees will get their contractual fees or payment on time. Then in such a case, apart from only monetary, if you are doing some helping some NGOs, helping some institutes out of your profits or from your organization. Those are also, in a way, stakeholders. Then your industry at large. Like for example, if you are working for say wood industry, or if you're working in textile industry, any industry which you're working on, you ultimately kind of cater to them and their success. So your project, your work at large benefits to everyone, that Aditi rightly mentioned. See, all of you are correct, but one sentence that bangs, that hits on the head is, everyone, anyone and everyone who has a stake or who has an interest in your project or in your work is your stakeholders. The word stake stands for that, right? So it's a very, by the way, we have an entire session dedicated to stakeholders topic, but it's an important keyword. So I thought I'll just, give you some basic understanding, or, check whether what type of, understanding you have for the word stakeholders. So yes, so BA's work is, if you ask me who is a BA, then in my simple words, I would say BA is a bridge. Okay, business analyst is a bridge between all the teams which are involved. Like, first of all, they are a very important bridge between the customer and between the development team, right? Because they take the requirements. So this is the way, right? I'm not saying that they only use PPT for taking the requirements, but yes, there are other forms of document like Word and Excel, but then PowerPoint being one of the very widely used way or tool to have your presentations, or just to highlight the data that we have to any parties, we use people. Yeah. Last point, please, and I'll just check with you if you have any doubts. The last point mentioned.
This communication becomes more effective in the form of presentation through PowerPoint.
Yeah, thank you so much for reading. Absolutely right. See, whatever we have on the screen right now, can I simply have that in a notepad and show that to you? Yes or no?
No.
No.
No, I'm just asking.
You can, you can
Yes,
simply
Yeah,
show
I'm
on
you
just
can
the
show in a
notepad,
notepad
but
too,
yeah.
but it will not
So
be that
it's
effective.
like, instead of this nice fancy with different font, different images, I can actually have that. I can even take a picture and show you that of a paper that I've written, right? There can be any way. But do you think it will be as effective as this PPT is? Like, here you can see the points, or forget that. If I just write down everything in a Word document and go line by line, right? That will be still readable for you. But will it be as effective as this slide? Like, we are going page by page. Give me your personal answer. Even if you say, okay, I'm fine with Notepad, that's fine. I mean, it's your personal opinion. Yeah. Or do you think PPT makes a difference, when we look at each heading or each topic and the sub point, and the changes in the font, the changes in the syntax? Yeah.
Yeah. PPT looks
Yes.
good. Yeah. More
Yes.
see,
presentable.
PPT is more effective than any other
Uh-huh.
document you use. Like the way
For
we can present with
presentation.
the figures and the charts and colors, and also easy for the
Absolutely.
presenter to switch, move on to and
Yes.
show.
Yes. So basically, we can also have similar features in Word document also, right? But then, see, Microsoft is pretty clever. They're very intelligent or sharp-minded people. So they have already named Word document, right? So if you want to document something, you can do that. But PPT is already PowerPoint presentation. So I mean, I'll really give you a very funny two examples which are very relevant. Okay, very practical. On daily basis, to be very honest. Okay, be honest with me also. How well organized your house is on daily basis, and when you know there are some guests coming in, does your house be the same, or you just arrange and manage your house properly and make it presentable for the guests? I do that, so I accept. Yes, I'm being honest. My
When the
house,
guest is
be
coming,
having
we
a
do the
9 month
makeup.
old. Sorry.
When the guests are coming, then our houses will be organized.
Even if the guests come 15 to 30 minutes earlier, the house would still be in mess. So
We will be
yes,
running around.
sorry.
We will be running around cleaning the
Absolutely right. Who said this? Who said this? Who said this? Yes. Yes, I think Malvika, you're just perfectly getting this. So see, yesterday, I mean, weekend was so crazy. I mean, I'm giving my personal example. I have an 8 month old, right? So there's so many visitors now coming in to meet him and all. So, and being with him, the house is mostly a mess, right? But then, taking this example to real life, right? See, you would have so much of data, you will have so much of things to present, but will you present in that manner? No. Why? Because it's a presentation. So same way, the way we arrange our house when guests are coming, and we know how we do it, right? Just rushing here and there, running and dumping clothes in your cupboard and stuff like that. Luckily, we don't do that in PPT. PPT is quite nice. You can have actually so many functionalities in it. Even in at least even this page, right? You can see two different fonts, and bold and pointers, and And it's so nice, like, I have PPT on this topic, I have the next topic on the next PPT. So we have MS Excel in the next PPT. So it's readable, it looks nice, it conveys the message, and it's I would say comfortable to the eyes also, and it has that additional edge over any other document type, like for example Word. Okay, so this is the way, and that's why I gave you this example. And the another example which I wanted to give you is, might be very funny, but I hope that will stick to your mind or brain. like on any other day, how well dressed you are, and compare that day to your own wedding if you're married. If you're not married, it can be your best friends or your siblings wedding. Okay, so imagine the difference in your presentation that day and your presentation on any other routine day. There is a vast difference, right? Absolutely. If you say
Yes.
no, I'll be stunned. Yeah, right. I mean, you won't even recognize your pictures from your wedding because you're so well dressed and well groomed and just out of the world that day, right? So same way. And by the way, these examples are to ensure that you understand the topic and to retain the understanding of the topic. Okay, so I personally, as a trainer, always try to give the simplest and most routine example that will be there in your mind. We can go for technical and real life one later, and in between we do, but these are the ones where you just know that okay, this is where I have to connect. So any doubts in this? I guess it's an easy one, a simple one to start with. So if no, we can move to next slide, and if you get any doubts in between, please feel free to ask. Okay, so we're done with PPT. Then now next an interesting reporting tool is MS Excel, Microsoft Excel. So is there anyone who has not used Excel till now? Yeah. Yes, no, anyone?
Yes, I've used.
Yeah, everyone? Anyone specifically who say no, I've not used Excel. I'm just trying to open any of the files. Pretty sure. Yeah. Anybody? I guess no. Okay. Give me a second. Give me a second, guys. I'm just trying to share my screen. That's why. Okay. Let me just show you just live that how does a PPT sorry Excel look like. Yeah. For anyone who has not seen Excel for the first time, who has not seen it yet, this is the Excel.
Gaurav explained us the other week about this, and also the tables and how we can share.
Oh, great.
I mean, copy
Okay,
paste.
great. Then let's not invest more time into this. So yes, I'll just then read through. Okay, read through the is my screen okay? Why my screen is paused? Give me a second. Stop share. Okay, fine. Thank you for highlighting that. Yeah. Okay. So yeah. So anyone who wants to volunteer about reading this, please go ahead. Preferably 2-3 people, so we can have everyone involved. Yeah. Go ahead.
MS Excel data analysis is also a part of the business analysis, and it can be of different forms like pivot tables, examining the trends in data, short and filter data, creating charts or graphs.
Yes, thank you for reading it out. And I think we all have gone through this. So, guys, when we were talking about PPT, it was more about presentation point of view. And when we talk about MS Excel, here we are more concerned or more focused on the data, on the information, and along with the information, how to show the information, right? Like, so there are charts, there are pivot tables, there are different even I would say formulas that we need to use and show data. So I'm pretty sure if not you, maybe for your nieces, nephews, or kids, or any other school going person in your house, so for them you might have seen this, because nowadays even schools are very pro and they actually want to have this kind of tools. They want to have kids to use all these kind of tools. So yes, all these above mentioned tasks can be performed using MS Excel, and it's like a spreadsheet like tool. I just showed you that how it looks, and I'm pretty sure you all are well aware. And it provides a built-in mathematical and financial function which can aid data analysis. Now, this is a little advanced thing that they are provided, and by the way, they are in a way growing and enhancing it daily. So there are like VLOOKUPs and uh, other formulas like simple shortcuts plus mathematical formulas. You can concat, you can add, you can show data in different formats. So there are like n number of ways where you can use Excel, but majority of it is like you go for many charts and formulas and tables. Okay, I use Excel pretty heavily in day-to-day life, because my work kind of revolves around analysis along with presentation. So yes, Excel is one of the very important point, and I hope everybody understands this. Yeah. Any doubts in between, please ask. I'll just move to next slide. Yeah. So Microsoft Word, if you remember, I just gave you example when we had started. Yes, 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 yes. Anybody? So yeah, can you please read out the Microsoft Word part?
Microsoft Word serves the purpose of requirement specification document. Organizations can create their specific template for documenting the requirements. It is a utility application which allows user preferred fonts, theme, objects, shapes, smart arts, charts, and even option for embedding Visio diagrams.
Thank you so much. So here you see MS Word is not a simple plain text document. It has all the functionalities, like you can have a font, you can have a theme, you can add objects, you can have shapes and all. So basically, when we prepare documents like business requirement document or requirement specification document, these or activity diagrams or any other diagrams from the point of view of business or data presentation, see, that time Word document is preferred, okay, because it is a very simpler way. It has a lot of functionalities like what we are reading right now. It has tools and charts and all the things. So yes, it is, and even the visual diagrams we can actually inculcate or incorporate into this. So guys, this is from a help, or I would say assistance point of view for a BA, that these all tools are very important, and most of them I'm pretty sure you would know. Now coming to the next one is MS Microsoft Visio. So yeah, anybody who wants to read out this, please, preferably a different person who have not read till now. Yeah, go ahead.
I can read this.
Yeah, go
MS
ahead.
Visio is a modeling tool that businesses analysts use to effectively capture and present the stakeholders' idea in the form of business functions and user interactions. The main utilities of Visios are UML diagrams creation, such as use case, sequence diagrams, and activity, to prepare process flow charts, to create data models, and to generate the architecture diagrams. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you so much for reading it out. Yes. So what it says is MS Visio like Microsoft Visio is basically a modeling tool. So that gives you an understanding of how the business works through the use of diagrams and charts and everything. So what we were doing in Excel and I would say Word doc independently, here MS Visio gives you a platform where you can create or make everything. Okay, so when we say Visio, I'm pretty sure the word has come from vision only. So you have a better clarity when you look at it, right? So though you can have so many charts in Excel and other and Word, also you can have some maybe pie chart or graphs and stuff like that. But Visio really gives you a better flexibility. In many organizations, they even entertain or they want you to work on that. In some, they have their own tools, or they go ask you to check online stuff, depending on company to company. But then, see, you can actually prepare charts, you can have your diagrams, you can have your data models. By the way, data modeling, we will come to it in super detail, so do not worry about it right now. Architectural diagrams, yes, all of you, or at least most of you have seen an architect diagram of a particular house, the blueprint that you call it. Have you guys seen it in real life or maybe in the television or YouTube? Yeah, the blueprint of a house when it is being made by
Yes.
the architect.
Yes.
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 Yeah. So
Yes.
what is it
Yes.
basically? The numbers and the figures and the size and the location. Yeah. The bedroom would be of this size and they'll have a attached washroom or restroom. And then there will be a master bedroom and then there'll be a guest area, whatnot, lobby. So same way, I mean, why I gave you this example is your application, like, if you have an application like Amazon, or if you have an application like Gmail, web application where you check your mails, you send mails, you uh, you know write or draft new mails, or you can actually label different mails and you can chat with your friends. So this kind of any application, when that is created, that will also have its architecture. When I say architecture means, like, for example, when the Gmail idea came in the picture, then that the first thing was, okay, we'll have a login page and we'll ask them to use their credentials and we'll check that. Once that is done, we'll have a home page. So it's a very simple example. If you want to understand it more, take this wide example of amazon.com. Okay, so amazon.com has such a huge variety. So imagine when they actually started with Amazon. By the way, when they started with Amazon, it was very simple. They started selling books on Amazon at first, so it was more or less a books website initially, and then the rest is history. So yes, wherever we have any application, any project, any work going on, you can also have that in detail mention in Visio. That was the whole point of explaining you this. So yes, going forward, we will see more and more, even hands-on later. Right now, just I would say introductory part to you. So just go with the flow, try to absorb as much as you can. Okay, now this is one of the most important, interesting, and relevant topics. Okay, if I have to call it. Anybody understands when we say requirement gathering by the simple English words? What is requirement gathering? When we say requirement gathering, what do you understand?
Gather the features which we want in the product.
Whatever the
Said?
Gather all the
customer
information.
wants the system to do. So that's a
Customer
requirement gathering.
conveying the requirements.
To understand from the
Sorry?
business what
Understanding the
exactly
customer's requirements.
understand from the
Okay.
customer what exactly the objective of the project and what exactly is the expectation.
I would
Okay.
say, getting the needs from the customer.
Very
Um,
well. Yes.
I think
And
requirement gathering would be gathering requirements from the customer, the client, what my team would be needing exactly to give them the solution, and in the process, whatever requirements are needed to ensure that the project flows smoothly. That would be requirement gathering.
absolutely. So first of all of you are right. Kudos to you. Thank you so much for having at least this level of understanding and an overall explanation given by almost everyone is correct, so so right? So requirement gathering simply means what the customer wants in plain English, and then you gather that. So I also wanted to hear this from you, that okay, whatever the customer is saying, but how you take that, how you keep that, how you gather that, so that we'll understand. And by the way, to get into more detail in this topic, there are requirement gatherings or requirements are widely, or I would say on surface, are I would say bifurcated into two. The one is functional requirement, and the second one is non-functional requirement. Okay, so SOW, so that's for scope of work, or that is before the functional requirement document. So a scope of, when we say about functional requirement and scope of work, means what all would be covered in this application. The word scope, everybody understands, right? Scope of work. So so to give you a very funny example, or realistic example, when we were in school, I'm pretty sure we used to study everything, okay? But the same person, us, when we moved to college, please tell me honestly, did you study entire book during the college time, or you used to just go through the highlighted or important chapters? Yeah, be honest.
Yes, important chapters.
Important.
Yeah, we never thought that during school, right? So in college, before exam or before preparation, no, though we never use this word scope, but we used to check with your friends, what are the important ones, like from which chapter or from which topic the most question come. So for us, that was our scope, right? I mean, out of 10 topics per se, if six chapters or six topics were the highlighted ones, then that became your scope instead of the 10 chapters, right? Everybody's getting this example? Yes.
Yes.
Yeah. So
Yes.
same way, the customer can say a number of things, they can talk for hours and hours, but what is the scope of work? What is that we have to develop and deliver to them? That is important, okay, if I have to call it. And in functional requirements, what all we have features, we have usabilities, we have operations. That means everybody just have Amazon.com example in front of. So what all Amazon has? Okay, it has all the product pictures. It even has, video of how to use the product, and it even has comments and feedbacks from user. It has likes, or rating from the user. So it has so much of variety with respect to any I would say capability in the form of what all you can do. So what you can do on Amazon, tell me what all activities you can do. Just if you guys use Amazon at all, or
We can buy, sell, we can
Search for the product.
watch.
Search for the product, categorize,
categorize, you can write
Specification.
feedback.
we
We
put
can
it in the
also put
cart.
the reviews.
Reviews,
Yeah,
Wish
put
list.
in the
reviews.
cart, we see the review,
Yeah,
we give the review.
yeah. We can buy as well as we can return. We can
Yeah.
exchange. Yeah,
Return.
yeah.
We can
So
even see
these
the
are,
history of our purchase.
yeah. We can see the history of the purchase. We can check our orders. Yeah, we
Yeah.
can sort our orders. Yeah, we can
You can
sort.
return your product.
Yeah.
Sorry, I don't
We
get
make
that.
payment.
I'm saying you can
Yeah.
return your product.
Yes, absolutely. And by the way, I'm not sure how it is in the US. Are you guys getting that additional? I don't know how to put into words. Like if you're returning a lot, do you get an email or do you get an alert on your app stating that your returns are higher than average? Is it happening in the US?
I never saw that.
I never
Yeah,
got
never
that.
seen
Yeah.
that. No.
I've
So
heard
that
about it.
might
Some
be
people have
that
spoken about
might
it.
be India specific or maybe specific to some users. So see, me being a new mom, I have been like I mean, go-to person for Amazon. So they tend to be like, some stuff that you don't like, right? Because you're just surfing and researching. So myself, it happens with me. It has happened with me. We've returned a lot of stuff, and some of them really was not of great quality, or it was not as per the shown image. Okay, so Amazon, and by the way, it's not only in Amazon in India. Even Reliance have their website called AGIO, AJIO. So this is a real life example I'm sharing with you. Okay, so they do have this I don't know, new policy or new feature, might be for Indian markets, or people who have high returns. So what they do, how we get those I would say rating by the end of any transactions or online banking, like, how was your experience? Good, average, poor. So same way, not on the rating part, they'll give you a scale like image, and they'll state, okay, the average returns are this and your returns are higher. So we have to watch out for it, because if we keep returning a lot of stuff, then they might charge us some convenience fees, or there might be no CODs, though I never do CODs, but stuff like that. So they'll kind of withdraw some of the perks that they offer to the customer. So why I came to this example is because though they are giving us the flexibility of operations that we can return, but they're also keeping a tap on that. Yeah. By the way, this is happening in case of extreme, because I remember I have returned a lot of stuff which I didn't like, that I was trying for the first time. But this is one of the functionality that we have. We can buy, return, and write feedback. And on that, being a vigilant customer, we also give them feedback that, okay, we are not even just returning for the sake of it. The products were really not good, with the pictures or whatever things we could share them. So yes, this is what a simple single app can do. Rather, I'm pretty sure there would be more features, but for now, even in the feedback, people make videos, they share pictures, they write text, so there are so many things that you can actually do using this. Okay. So this is our functional, I would say, requirement. The non-functional requirement, can anybody explain? That is technical requirement. When we say non-functional, with respect to performance, stability, security, and technicality, anybody can they just try their hand, like, by explaining what can be a technical requirement?
How much time are the pages taking to load?
Wow, who said that?
Neetu.
Superb. Now that's an actual user speaking. Mauli, right?
No,
Who
Neetu.
said that?
It's not me.
Okay, I didn't get the name.
It's
Neetu, who said that? Who's
yeah,
unmuted?
I said Neetu said.
Yeah, I mean, you both were unmuted, so I thought, very well said, Neetu. And that's actually the first thing that we notice as customer. See, even before I did my MCA, and we were using computers that time. Okay, laptops were not so prevalent. I'm talking about the early 2000s. So even on and that time, God, I mean, God forbid that the speed was anyways super awesomely slow. But still, even in that slow speed, if something was slower, we used to get panicked. We used to get irritated. So first and foremost is how much is your load time, and that is a technical side of it, right? Like many a times, have you seen when a particular website is loading, some of the features load, like the text and all, they load, or even some images load, but the video will take some time, or even if you click on it, it will buffer. Nowadays it has reduced a lot, I would say, but still it happens. Have you seen that?
Yes.
Yes.
Yes. Yes. Have you also experienced, if you go to any old site, when I say old site, that means it might not be still maintained, or any university websites which were created quite many years back, and it just has text. So do you see how slow they are, or you also experience 404 sorry, page not found error? Yeah.
Yes.
Yes, no. Yeah.
Yes.
Why? Why? Because they are not technically powered or technically assisted. Now, this is the part of the technology that we all can see and feel. Okay. There are other parts like security. Like you may say, what kind of security is required for Amazon? So, do you all agree that you would require security for your online transaction banking account, like HDFC, ICICI, any bank account you use? So, do you want to have it a secure transaction, or it can be okay if anybody else can see your credentials and go ahead?
We want a secure transaction.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right? Absolutely. So, same way, in Amazon also, they don't want any intruders or and any viruses or anybody hacking that. So basically, managing their database, ensuring that everything is loaded properly, all the pictures are, all the images, all the products are getting showcased properly. So I'm just taking Amazon example because it is a very easy to understand and visualize. So the security part, now that is your basic security. Now if you have your data in cloud, right? Cloud means actual cloud. Just imagine somewhere up there, or in some unknown location you keep your data and you pay rent for it. You don't have to have the hardware for all the storage. You rent. Nowadays everything is on rent. So that again, getting secured or not, that is also one of the very important feature. And by the way, as a BA or as a Scrum Master, even, you are not supposed to go in too much detail, but it's always good to know. Okay, it's always a good to know information. So things like how fast is the application loading, what is the safety and stability means, yes. Can you even imagine how many people would be logging into Facebook at the same time? Yes, no? Or do we
Yeah.
have a number?
Yeah. N
Huh?
number of people. Yeah.
N number. Yeah, I really like it. Yeah. N number. Though this N has troubled us a lot during school time in mathematics, but now is the perfect answer. N number. So imagine those many people accessing Facebook at the same time. I am a former developer, so I can uh, tell you the player. It's such a huge responsibility, because so many people accessing the page from variety of locations. So the network, I wouldn't say congestion, or the network traffic is actually like your road traffic. People are coming in requesting that page, and everybody wants to have data. So data fetching from your database. So all these things requires really, really very good technical background. Like your coding, your programming has to be top notch, your database connectivity has to be good, your networks has to be great. So all that, luckily, we don't have to study right now or anytime as a BA. All that it's taken care in non-functional requirement. Okay. So I hope I could give you some insight about what is a functional understanding and functional requirement and non-functional. Yeah. Any doubts in the understanding part of it? Yes, no?
So Prerna, just a question.
Mm-hmm.
That non-functional requirement, we don't even, the customer doesn't tell us, or we don't look for that as a BA. It is like understood by the developers what to do in the
No,
system.
no. See, as a
Okay.
BA, you will not give much input into it, to be very honest. But
Mhm.
nowadays, now, if you ask me, customers have become very tech savvy as well. Okay.
Mhm.
So, like for example, when a smaller IT company goes to a bigger IT company for any solutions, they're still IT company, right?
Mhm.
Happens, right? This happens.
Yeah. Yeah.
So they would have their understanding and their needs. So it's not always, see, most of the typical customers, yeah, you're right. They will not know. They'll just give you,
Okay.
take my money, give me this website, take my money, give me this web application or this phone app. Okay. But
Mhm.
yeah, first and foremost is our development teams, I would say, knowledge and their expertise about how to secure the application and how to give the data as the quickest possible. But yes, there are companies and also there are some firms who have the dedicated IT. Okay, they might have a small setup of some expertise where very few people but very good at it, and they will communicate. But then as a BA, it's not your job. Let me clarify that for you, that to understand or to know everything about it. Your job at FAR would be to just get it in written or get the understanding of what customer want in plain English, more or less, and communicate that to your development team. See, when I say bridge, I mean by you connecting people, connecting teams. Okay, so in future, if there is anything that needs more clarity or in-depth understanding, you can always set up a meeting between these stakeholders. Like if the customer wants to know how things might be implemented, or see, it's not generally openly shared, but if they want to have further discussion about their technical aspects, like what kind of security, what kind of encryption they want, what kind of network bandwidth they're looking at, and what kind of servers they want us to have, or things like that. That is not in your purview. You can always, as a BA, you can always set up a meeting between your tech lead, or you're some architect in your team, or senior member from development team, and that particular customer, and you can be there. But then most of the work will be done by them, and you can actually take the minutes of the meeting or the pointers from that discussion. That can be just documented. Makes sense now? You understand?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Thank you very
So
much.
first of all, please, most welcome. Thank you for asking the question. Please remove this doubt from your mind that, okay, I have to do this and do that as a, I would say, BA. So no, BA's role is quite specific to what all task he or she can do, and it does not involve too many technical things, if I have to call. Yeah, I'll request five different people to read out these texts in the boxes shown in the image. Please, I'll just sip water till the time. Thank you.
Business requirements, stakeholder requirements,
Solution requirement.
Transition requirements.
functional requirements, non-functional requirements.
Yes, thank you so much for reading it out. I do not know why there was so much of hesitation or wait. I mean, you just have to start reading. Doesn't matter if you hear other person also. Whosoever can finish, you can. It's okay. It's absolutely fine. So yes, we till now we have learned, or we have discussed about the green boxes, that is functional and non-functional requirement, and I hope, at least from understanding point of view, it is clear for all of you now. Though you are very much welcome and encouraged to read about it on net, or maybe watch some videos on YouTube. See, our principle here is we give you an in-depth or a good understanding about the topic. Then you can definitely rewatch the videos for ensuring that you did not miss anything during the session. But along with that, we also encourage you to watch and explore your own, knowledge base. So there can be a scenario, some explanation might not be as connected to you, that you might get from other trainer from guru schools, or at the same time, you can enhance your understanding once you go out and read. But why we tell you to start with our PPTs, because trust me, internet is so much full of extra knowledge that is even not required most of the times. It's at times tends to be confusing, and rather it is, there is so much out there that it will in a way blow our minds. So please take specific topics, like you can go and just Google what is a functional requirement, okay, with respect to IT, yeah, preferably with respect to IT, or what is a functional requirement for a BA. So, from BA's point of view. So always, whenever even you search or Google anything, always have a context. Make sense? Yes, guys?
Yes.
Yes,
Yes.
no?
Yes.
You all are
Yes.
happy? Okay. Okay. So starting with business requirements, yes. Whatever requirements the customers are sharing or they are giving, for your particular the project that they have, they want us to work on, that's your business requirement, as simple as that. Stakeholders requirement. Okay, now we know what is the stakeholders and we know what is a stakeholder, sorry. So stakeholders requirement is, every stakeholder would have a different, if you ask me, in certain way. So as a customer and client, my requirement would be, I would want this project to be finished in as fast as possible. I'd I'm sorry. Yeah. And within limited budget, not max, in the minimum budget possible. Now that is the, I would say, requirement of a client. Whereas what my senior management's requirement would be, his requirement would be in a way exactly opposite. His or business owner's requirement would be, we can stretch or we can actually go ahead with this project for as long as possible, and we should get maximum profits from it. Okay, so businessman or senior management is going for maximum profits, whereas the customer is going for minimum, whatever, expenditure or cost. Whereas an NGO whom you might be supporting out of your profit, they would just pray or hope that you make a good deal out of it so you can spend money on the NGO or for the betterment of all the causes that we have. So you're getting it. Everybody has their own perspective when it comes to stakeholders requirement. Now coming to solution requirements. Anybody who can explain about what is solution requirement? Yeah. What is a solution requirement? What comes to your mind when we say solution requirements?
Like what has to be done, what needs to be done.
What the customer
In-
needs.
Customer wants.
All the functionality and the features.
All the
Function.
functionality of the features. Okay, what the customer wants. Yes. And when what else?
When
What
there is
about
a
the
hiccup in the
if
business and how it is solved.
And we can say the requirements that that were gathered.
Give me a second, guys.
Is it something
Yeah.
specific that a customer needs, or because it says solution, like solution to a problem?
Absolutely, you all are very close, or other, right? So basically, it's solution requirement means from the technical point of view, a little bit. I mean, not only I would say pure technical, but solution point of view. Like for example, tomorrow if you face any problem, give me a second. Like taking the examples of a earlier discussion, when we were saying that a website has to load fast, and the page should be loaded faster, and uh, pages, and then even we can see all the data correctly, we can search the application. There are certain I mean that's my way, being an former, I would say, developer. Whenever I check any app or any functionality, I always go for the basic checks, like how fast is their sorting. Or so there are many scenarios. Even in Amazon, I feel the sorting doesn't work that great. Okay, So even if you have sorted as per the popular, I can't comment on popularity, but many a time with any. So yeah, the sorting, most of the applications sorting doesn't work perfectly. Everybody understands sorting, right? Like if I have to sort on cost, like, from higher to lower, it might give you maybe in between prices. Or even if I have to sort as per color or as per age or as per something. So I'm just giving a basic example. So yes, this is the one of the requirement types wherein the characteristics or the features of the project or whatever the customer is sharing, that all is given. Okay. So everybody understand what the solution requirement is from solution point of view, from giving the overall understanding of the project. Any doubts in this? Yeah, guys, any doubts? Everybody understand? At least say yes or no. Solution requirement, yeah, yeah.
Yes.
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 Okay. Okay. Thank you. I know I've been checking on you a lot, but this is how we go ahead. And the last but not the least for today's understanding, today's session is transition requirement. Okay. So what do you feel would be transition requirement?
Transferring the present
Any kind
system
of
to
training
cloud.
to be given to the user to use a
Hmm.
new system or features.
Mm-hmm.
Transferring the data from web to cloud, maybe, or the system which is already there to the cloud.
Mm-hmm.
Moving on to different stages.
Okay. Yes. Yes. Who said that? Moving on to different phases. Yes. Yes. Yes.
Priya.
Priya. Okay. Cool. Thank you so much. So first of all of you are, very close and somewhere related to the understanding. But honestly, when we say transition from understanding and from the business point of view, it means that when the requirement is changing into different phases, like, like when I show my presentation or my requirement in a diagram format. Okay. And we just studied the diagrams or learned about some diagrams. Okay. The same features or same functionality. One second. Yeah. So same way, when I try to transfer that to the actual, I would say, implementation. You remember I gave you example about architect, having an architect diagram of your home. Same way we have our application architecture diagram. Yes, you guys remember?
Yes, yes.
Yeah. So same, so imagine when somebody actually started with Amazon, though it was on a very limited scope of selling books, they had their architecture of that application, and that was implemented. Like when I say architecture means they said, okay, we will have this set of books, history books, mystery books, study books, or kids books, or whatnot, fiction books, science books. So we will have this category, and then they started making that in Amazon. So that was a transition from paper to implementation. Do you understand this? Or also let me put it this way. There is a certain requirement during a particular phase, and later that requirement is not there. When we are developing, that time we would need softwares and some hardware that is required. Okay. That is not needed when we are taking requirements. That is also not needed when we are doing the testing. But when we are developing, then that time we might need, okay, we want to implement this kind of code, this kind of functionality, this kind of language we want to work on. So that time we will need specific, maybe I need this laptop or I need this hardware. So the bottom line here of this transition analysis is we have to have a very important changes during the entire development team. Like my requirement during development phase would be different, my requirement would be testing phase would be different. Everybody knows what's a testing? Yes, no, you can be open and honest
Yes.
about it. Yeah.
Yes.
So it's as simple as that. When you cook something, you take a spoon of it and you taste just to ensure the salt is fine, the taste is decent, it is cooked properly. Same way, when we develop something in IT or in any other industry, might be, they test it. So that is your transition requirement, that it is uh basically, you're converting into your data, you're migrating into data. Also, one of the very good example is data migration. Okay, you might ask, what's a data migration? So in case of floods and famines or any natural calamities, you might have heard this, that data center was badly hit. Maybe a particular, say SDFC banks, uh, I don't know which example, say maybe New York data or New Jersey data center was badly hurt during a cyclone or whatnot, and they migrated or they shifted to their maybe Chicago database. Have you heard this kind of news in paper or somewhere, or at least migration of data, or have you heard, any of you?
Yes.
No. Yeah, I know it's quite rare, to be very honest. Okay, let me give you an example. 26 July 2005, Mumbai was flooded for days. Okay, it was one of the most horrible times of our life, and I personally experienced it. So that time, everything was underwater, like, very close to like tsunami, not the bigger waves, but yeah, the flooding part. It was so, I mean, horrible, if I have to put it that way. Everything was underwater, but still banks were running. How? Because they shifted or they transitioned from their Mumbai location to other safer location. Transition means they did not take people or computers away. They just changed their pointing. Like, like I don't know how I put it to this word. Imagine if your mom is not at home and she is not cooking for that day. Okay, I know it's a very silly example. So you have your elder sibling or your father to do their job, but the job is done, or at least you take out or you order. Yeah.
Yes.
Yes, no. So to ensure that there is, it's called business continuity plan, BCP. It's also one of the good to know terminology. So to have that, we do the transition. We do the transition from, okay, not Mumbai data center, Bangalore data center, maybe Hyderabad data center, whatever comes to. So same way, this is transition, though it is not that widely used, but yeah, your transition from development to testing, your transition from testing to actual delivery or deployment to the customer. So these is transition requirement. I can see we have reached to our time, and we have also covered some very important concept for today. So I think we are good to stop here. Before we stop, I have few announcements and requests to be made. First of all, please, guys, if you are in the group, be active, read messages, attend Dev sir's RRP session. Sir is on Bharat tour. He's meeting so many uh, new people, HRs and companies. There are so many avenues and opportunities in the pipeline. So please take advantage of it. And along with rewatching this video, I mean, I will not only say rewatch this video, but rewatch videos of other trainers on the same topic or any other interesting topic. There are some technical people who want to read the in non-technical side, or there are some people who are from non-technical background, but they like to be updated about a technical part. So please feel free. Yeah, you can ask your question, Olu. Yeah, I can see your hand raised. Yeah.
Hi. I just want to
Hello.
hello, can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Yeah, please, can you share the link to the last 2 sessions? I've been looking for them. I couldn't find them on
Yes,
YouTube.
yes,
Then also,
I will.
okay. Then I have some questions on the part that we have already covered on Agile Scrum. So
Okay.
so when we're talking about the sprint, we talk about the implementation, the sprint review, and the sprint retrospective. So before going to the next sprint, so I just want to ask, after the sprint planning, during the review and the retrospective, what will the team be doing before they go on to another sprint? Then
See, first of all, though theoretically it sounds like there is a huge gap, but it's just continuous days.
Okay.
It's just continuous. Like if you ask me, in my professional setup, Friday we had a release. Okay, Friday we had a release, and today in our team meeting we'll discuss what the next items are, and we just start working on them.
Okay,
It's as
straight away.
fast as that.
Okay.
Yes, because we don't have time to waste, because every day count. Yeah, when we say 2 weeks sprint, so we barely have 10 working days, right? We don't consider Saturday, Sundays, though we tend to work on them sometimes depending on the situation. But yeah, they are not the counted days, right? So yes, when the retrospective is done, there might be a slack of 1 or 2 days. Two, I'm saying a lot. Maybe one day you can take a breather, or you can just ensure that documentation is complete. But still, it is not that you don't work. No, you're anyways working. You might finish your documentation that was not earlier finished, or you can even look at the next sprint's backlog items, but then it's as quick as possible. So and by the way, when I say we deploy or we go into production, there are sometimes issues related to that. So that is also there. Even if the next sprint is not starting, you're taking care of those bugs or those issues, or those or those functional, any ups and downs that might have come across. Make sense?
Yeah, it does. Yeah. So there's really no break in between. It just look like there's a break, but there's actually no break.
So won't you and me would love to have a break, right? But then they pay us. They pay us on daily or hourly basis, right? So it's their job to ensure that we have something to work upon. And by the way, in organizations, everything is very streamlined. I'm not saying they'll make anybody slog, but they ensure that everybody's occupied. Okay. So yeah, there can be a little breather day. It can be a little breather day. We might have at least a meeting or some time off or some brainstorming, but that won't mean that we won't have anything. We won't be idle. No.
So
it's a profit-making organization, and they will ensure that you're not sitting idle for sure, unless you're on bench.
Okay,
Yeah.
so for instance,
Good question.
if the retrospective was on Friday, probably the next sprint would be the following Monday.
Yep.
Okay.
At least the next sprint planning meeting should be there. See, to be very honest, going theoretically is fine, but in practical, we have every day count, right? Every day counts, because if we delay the starting, our end will definitely be delayed. So it's as simple as that. So nobody wastes time. You won't believe, even in the retrospective, we discuss about the next sprint meeting, right? That when it will be held. That's one of the agenda. So same way, we actually implement these things.
Okay.
So yes, thank you, Olu, for your question.
Sorry, one more question. I just want to ask.
Yeah.
So when we're the last session we talked about I think before we started the business analysis, we talked about something about if sorry, when we're talking about the product backlog, the sprint backlog, that it is not static, things can be added to it. Then there was a part where you mentioned that if that some items that were outside of the scope can be added to it, but it will affect the budget, it may affect the timeline, and all that has to be discussed with the client, and also it has to be approved. I just want to find out who is going to approve it.
Okay. So in a Scrum or in any business understanding, there is not only one person.
Okay.
It's a collaborative decision, and then the maybe assignment or the confirmation can be given by the senior authority. Now, taking your question, See, a customer comes to per se you are a lead, okay? Maybe you're a scrum master for the matter. Just for hypothetically. So the customer shares a requirement to one of your development team members or maybe a BA. And then that BA comes to, so first of all, nobody gives a upfront yes or no to the customer before discussion. It's always that, okay, let me get back to you on this. Let me have an internal discussion on this. Always, guys, this is a thumb rule, okay? Any new requirement which you feel is outside the scope, yes. You know, like in school time, when somebody used to call you for a night out or for a late dinner, it's like, let me check with my parents. It's as simple as that. Let me check with my team because it is out of your scope. So you come back to discuss that with your, like, Olu, you being the Scrum team, Scrum master, they'll discuss that with you. And then what you'll say, okay, this looks like this is an out of scope. Definitely we'll have to put additional efforts. Let us check with the product owner also. So the first and foremost thing is we check that, is it doable or not? It is feasible or not? Because I have been a project owner for many years and manager, and I have personally experienced the customer can ask for the stars and moons. Okay, I actually call it that way. They can ask for stars and moons and they can go really crazy. So we have to ensure and we have to draw a line what we all can implement or what we can't. So starting with that, first feasibility, that can we do this? Okay, if we can do this, how much extra time, extra resources, when I say that means actual employees that will work on that, actual I would say if we require any specific software and hardware specification, that any particular skill that we have and that we do not have in our team, so we might have to hire or take that kind of employee on contract. So so everything is thought through in detail, and along with that the costing is provided. Like if that is going to cost you per se 1 million extra dollars, I'm just giving a hypothetical big amount, so it will create an impact. And if the customer, and then you come up with that, okay, so this will, and timeline along with money, definitely timeline. Okay, so this will require additional 2 months of work and will require additional 1 month of work. So if the customer is okay to spend extra money, extra time for that requirement, and if it is doable, feasible, then we go ahead. And then it is a I would say joint call.
Okay.
So you and along with your seniors, like preferably product owner, and you go and have a discussion, and if they agree and they pay you for that along with the weight of 1 additional month, all good. If no, then you don't, because you simply can't afford that to do on your own. See, there are some small here and there look and feel changes that we give. We call them as cookies or freebies just for the client relationship. That's fine. That doesn't harm anybody. That doesn't harm you time. That doesn't harm you extra charges. It is just something you give on and above your development. Like, maybe having a nice theme, good look and feel, it's okay. But functionality that would cost time and money, no, because we are in the business of profit making, and it's everything is financial. We ensure there are no losses on anybody's part. Yeah, does this answer your question, Olu?
Yes, thank you very much.
Most welcome. Yes, I know we are past time. So I'll just request you one more time. Please share your feedback about today's session. Feedback as in whatever you feel like, whatever you understood, what topics we learned. Did you understand them well? How was the explanation? So basically it acts two way. First of all, it will be like an attendance from you that who all attended today's session. And second, it also gives us a feedback about how well to conduct the sessions next time, to improve, to add on to whatever. So feel free to write in detail about what you felt and what all topics we covered today, and we will meet again tomorrow night at the same time. Okay, so thank you so much for your time and interaction. See you soon. Good night. Bye bye, guys.
Thank you.
Good night.
Good
Bye
night.
bye. Yeah, see you tomorrow.
Thank you. Good night.
Most welcome,
Bye.
guys. Bye. Good night. Bye. Bye bye.
Thank
Good night.
you.
Good night. Yeah, welcome.
Bye-bye. Good night.
Bye. Good night. Bye bye. Yeah, good night.